salad or maybe soup, and 2 bottles of cola that they are very obviously pouring rum into. There's a bottle of rum and 2 like plastic bottles of Coke, but they're not Coke. They're off-brand.
I am so hungry.
Where's the pie, though?
I'm sure it's just like in the fridge or whatever. Like they didn't have room for it. Like they have the box, the pizza box, and the chicken take up half the table.
Yes, but they have pizza. That's a kind of pie.
That is true.
That
They've
is
also
true.
eaten
It's a pizza pie.
2/3 of the pizza, but they've eaten 2/3 of the pizza in like the weirdest way. Like they haven't like from like one spot like towards like another spot. Like it's like 4. There's 4 slices left, and they're like equally distant, like apart from each other. Like there's like a piece missing between each of them.
I would do that, honestly, just because it looks cool.
It's not practical though, because then when you have to put the pizza in another container to put it back in the fridge, like then like they're all pulled apart.
Bold of you to assume that pizza's going in the fridge.
I mean, yes, but like ordinarily, I would say yes, absolutely. There's no way they're not eating that whole pizza, but they also have the chicken and the pasta salad and the other stuff. There's a lot of food and the Chinese takeout.
They got it. They're fine.
I get
fine.
that Sam's been dead for a couple days and he's hungry, and Dean's been on like a hunger strike out of grief. But like, their stomachs have not gotten larger.
They don't make healthy decisions. Also, they might be saving some for Bobby.
Also, one of them's probably about to drink and drive because they're clearly spiking these drinks.
Shocking.
Sam fills Dean in on the special Children Hunger Games thing, and Sam also chooses to lie about something, and he just decides to lie about the demon blood situation. Sam's really confused about how he and Jake are both wives, and then it's Dean's turn to lie. It's a good time. Monster of the Week, I don't know if they kept this up, but I remember in the early seasons, they had like a lie count of how many times Sam and Dean lied to each other, and like this episode is just full of lies.
We should do that.
Oh, I feel like it's too late. We've already missed so many.
It's true. There are a lot of lies.
I'm not going back to rewatch that many.
No.
Dean has to break the news to Sam about the Roadhouse and Ash and the others that have all died. They're only a few hours from Bobby, so Sam's like, well, we should go meet up with Bobby. And Dean's like, I don't want to go to Bobby's because Bobby's going to have questions. But he can't tell Sam that without Sam being like, why don't you want to go to Bobby's? So they go. And Sam is picking up on weird energy, but Bobby and Dean are not talking about it. Last episode, Bobby had a map of demonic omens that he pulled out, which was hilarious because he pulled out this map of demonic omens and Dean's like, there's nothing on this map. There are no demonic omens. What is happening? And this, so today, it's in like 3 days, Bobby pulls out his demonic omens map and it is filled up. There's demonic omens everywhere.
I wonder if Yellow Eyes is just like, all right, take a break. The kids are at camp. Now they're gone. So you guys can do stuff again.
Everywhere around a place in southern Wyoming, but there's one particular place that just like has none. And that's a little weird. Bobby's like, Sam, why don't you take a look at this and see what you think about it? I'm gonna take Dean outside and parent him. And Bobby does. He takes Dean outside to parent him very loudly, and Dean confesses to Bobby that he only got a year out of his demon deal. Bobby is fed up with the Winchester self-sacrifice and self-esteem issues.
We all are. It's only season 2.
Oh my god, yeah, it's only gonna get worse, Bobby, I'm sorry. But Bobby's like crying, he's holding Dean by the face. They hear something and Ellen comes stumbling through the scrapyard, and Dean just like grabs Ellen and holds her like, oh my god, get this boy a mom.
A permanent mom.
They go inside and then they test Ellen for possession before, getting into the full story. Ellen's like, yeah, we ran out of pretzels, and so I left the Roadhouse to go to the store, and Ash called while I was gone and told me to look in the safe, and then by the time I got back, the Roadhouse was on fire and everyone inside was fucking dead. And I'm like, she's like, I don't know what happened, but it was bad, and I was only gone like 15 minutes.
Wow. Also, when you said possession, my first thought was drugs, so then I remembered what show this was.
Dean's like, did you get Ash's notes from the safe? And she's like, yeah, I got them. We have a safe in the basement, and it's this map with X's also all around Wyoming. And Bobby finds a book that references this, and Samuel Colt, the creator of the cult, built a series of churches at each of Ash's X's with a private railway connecting them that lay out in the shape of a star or pentacle, if you want to sound more spooky-ooky. It's a massive devil's trap. And they're like, would this thing even still work? And Sam's Sam's like, I bet you it does, because the demon omens are all around the outside of it and they're not on the inside of it. And they're like, okay, well, what's in the inside then? And Dean's like, there's a cemetery. And they're like, well, what's in there? Like, what is this thing keeping in? And Dean posits a scenario that the demons might be trying to get in, but maybe the devil's trap is built to keep something else in that's trying to get out. Because that's what they usually do. Like, usually they put a demon in there and then the demon wants out and the devil's trap keeps it. That's what devil's traps do. Bobby's like, there's no way if this thing is still working, this thing is massive, like an atomic bomb, like, hurt this thing, like a full-blooded demon is not getting across. And Sam's like, quick math. I think I know someone that the demons could send to get inside. Back to Jake. He pulls up at a railway crossing and Yellow Eyes appears and he's like, walk 50 miles, there's a crypt in the cemetery. Take the Colt. By the way, this is the only gun that can kill me, and it's the key, so just like stick it in the lock and open the door. Thanks, bud. The demon promises that if Jake does this, that his family will be protected like royalty in the new world. And that's tempting for Jake, who just really does not want his family to suffer.
Which is honorable, but that's about it.
Jake arrives at the cemetery, but the Winchesters, Bobby and Ellen are waiting, and Jake is freaked out to see Sam because he cut clean through Sam's spinal cord on purpose. Sam is not in the Whisper this week. The Sam Whisperer is not present. Sam is yelling.
He doesn't need it. Sometimes you just need to scream at people.
Jake's eyes flash yellow as he reveals that, like Ava, once you start practicing, you can do all kinds of things. He can now make people do things like Andy and Ansem could. He makes Ellen turn her own gun on herself.
That was fast.
Bobby, Dean, and Sam disarm because, yeah, they love Ellen. They're not going to let anything happen to her. They just thought she was dead and they don't want her to be actually dead. And then Jake shoves the Colt into the slot in the wall and starts opening the door.
Do you think he got like a crash course in demon powers, or do you think Yellow Eyes has like a hand in this?
I think both. I think that the people who were using their powers and extending their powers were seeing Yellow Eyes. We kind of had that mentioned a couple of times.
That's true.
With Scott and Ansem, the other two people who were, giving in and using their powers to hurt people. So I think a little bit of both. I think Yellow Eyes is the professor of that course.
Honestly, I wonder why we don't see very many people with electricity, because that's what Scott had, and we don't really see that.
Right?
Yeah.
Again, it's another power that's really random.
Just imagine Jake being like Emperor Palpatine, zapping everyone.
Bobby and Dean and Sam disarm. Bobby and Dean grab Ellen, and Sam grabs the gun, one of the guns off the ground, and shoots Jake a bunch of times, and then shoots him with 3 more shots just to be safe. Sam Lowe shoots 6 times. He is not making that mistake again.
Nope.
But it's too late because the door is already opening. Dean grabs the Colt, but the door is already open, and it's a Devil's Gate. It's a door right to hell. A bunch of demons spill out, and some of the tracks that make up the Devil's Trap just breaking the Devil's Trap. Dean does some wick math here as well, that if the demon gave the gun to Jake, the demon's probably nearby waiting for all these demons, and he's right behind Dean, ready to take the Colt back.
Yeah, he's right behind them.
Yeah, funny you mentioned that, Dean. Dean goes flying into a headstone. He's fine somehow, but okay.
That's unfortunate.
Well, Ellen, Sam, and Bobby are trying to shut the door. Sam leaves Ellen to shut the door on her own to run to Dean's rescue, where he does absolutely nothing to help. He gets stuck to a tree. The demon thanks Dean for putting Sam back in rotation, because Sam's still always been the favorite, and now he'll be around to lead the demon army that's pouring out this door. And Yellow Eyes asks Dean if he's ever heard the expression, if a deal's too good to be true. It probably is. And on a very real note, my day job is in fraud reporting, and I say this to my computer screen at least once a day. I just look at my computer and go, if a deal is too good to be true, it's not.
That is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta be careful, guys.
That phrase just stood out to me. I felt it deeply. The demon repeats that Dean's deal is a better deal than John got, and Dean never once wondered why he got a better deal. And he points out that Sam, who just died because he showed mercy, just cold-blooded killed the very same guy. And he's like, how certain are you that what came back is still 100% Sam? And parrots back something Dean said multiple times in 204, which is, what's dead, stay dead.
Ooh.
This is never really brought up again, but I desperately want it to. The more I think about it, the less convinced I am that Sam came back okay
Right.
in this deal. Yellow Eyes is about to kill Dean when John's ghost appears and pulls the demon out of its vessel for a second, which gives Dean time to get the coal and fire right to the heart. The demon dies. No one is upset about the end of Yellow Eyes.
Not yet, anyway.
Bobby and Ellen get the gate closed. John, Dean, and Sam stare each other down while John puts a hand on Dean's shoulder and they all cry while saying absolutely nothing. And then John lights up and disappears. They have to have green screened some of this. This felt very much to me like Jeffrey D. Morgan, like maybe he wasn't here. I think he was, though. I think he talked about it recently, but
Maybe it just looks weird.
it does look weird. It's so weird that they're having this scene and there's no dialogue. Not a single person speaks for like a minute. They're just staring at each other. Sam is crying, like full on crying. I'm like, hold it together, babe.
He doesn't have to.
2 more minutes, please. Sam and Dean are then standing over the body of the demon, and Dean goes, well, check that off the to-do list. And I'm really glad that Dean's still Dean. And they wonder what happens to John now that he's climbed out of hell, and now they've accomplished their collective life's goal of killing the thing that killed their mom. Sam's like, I don't know what to say, but Dean's like, bends down and's like, that was for our mom, you son of a bitch. Because that's what Dean does.
Makes him feel better.
The boys then leave Bobby and Ellen, and they go back to the Impala by themselves. They just don't even talk to Bobby and Ellen. They're like having this whole moment on their own. And now
They're
Sam's
too cool.
got a minute to talk about the Jake thing. Because Sam is not accepting any more bullshit. He knows that Dean did something. Dean doesn't even really have to say it. Sam asks how long Dean got, and Dean admits he only got a year, and he begs Sam not to get mad at him for it. Dean is absolutely stunned. Dean's like, it's my job to look after you. And Sam's like, what do you think my job is? And Dean is just floored. He's like, what? And Sam's like, there's nothing I wouldn't do for you, and I'm going to save you. Like, you're my brother. Ellen and Bobby roll up finally from their leisurely stroll back from the cemetery, and Ellen's like, I wonder how many demons got out. And Sam was like counting or something because he throws out a number. He's like, I don't know, 100 or 200 maybe. It's an army. It's not as big an army as they wanted, but it's still an army.
It's a little club, yeah. Wait, what? Where did their dad go?
Unclear.
We don't know.
He's
He's still out
wasn't
there.
He just kind of like bright light it a little bit, which kind of similar to what we saw with that girl in Roadkill. Also,
he doesn't deserve it.
He doesn't deserve it either. He doesn't deserve it. However, like, you have to have unfinished business to be a ghost, and they just did the one thing that would have caused John to have unfinished business.
Right, so he
Because
doesn't
the
really
only
have
thing
anything
John
left.
has ever cared about is killing the
He's
thing that
killing
killed
that
Mary.
demon. He
He
don't give a
doesn't
crap
really
about his
care about
boys.
his sons. Yeah, he just cares about the demon. So
That's true.
that's his unfinished business, and they finished it. So I feel like if there was ever a time when John would like get into heaven, that's it. I agreed he doesn't deserve it, but I think that's where he goes.
It's fine. Heaven's corrupt anyway.
Yeah. Heaven's not all it's cracked up to be.
Not in this show anyway.
But yeah, there's another Boston song, close out the 2-part episode. There was a Boston song at the beginning of the first episode. I don't think I mentioned it in my notes, but when they stopped and the radio like fritzed out and Sam got kidnapped, there was a Boston song on the radio.
Foreplay, Long Time by Boston.
And now Don't Look Back by Boston is playing, and Dean throws the Colt in the trunk and says, we got work to do, just like Sam did in the pilot after Jess died. Good times. Yeah, that's how the season ends.
I like that they end it that way. It's kind of like, a new era, a new storyline.
Yeah. On to some more weekly segments and panels. Total duck out. My numbers are going to be off, so I just think I'll just record this later.
Okay, fair.
The only 2 people we saw were Jake and the guy that Yellow Eyes was in.
Because he still counts.
We tried to assign MVP of the week, so let's see who we'd like to be nominated as this week's most valuable person. Let's start with Jordan.
MVP of the week is, I'm going to say not Dean, because he made a bad decision that, basically ruins Sam's life. So I'm going to go with not Dean. I'm going to go with Sam when he comes back and handles things, finally.
And Meredith, who would you like to nominate?
I had a very similar thought path because I don't want to validate Dean's actions here. Not very great. I don't know. I'm kind of caught between Bobby, Ellen, and Sam. I can't choose a favorite, but they were both doing lots of good things, I think.
Split it, that's fine.
Okay. Can we split it between 3? Have we done that before?
We haven't, but first time for everything.
Maybe I'll just choose like Ellen and Bobby because they were like the parents here. Also, Ellen survived the fire, so.
Yeah, I did give this one to Dean, but we do have to have a talk about it. Dean did sell I give it to Dean because he did sell his soul to get Sam back, which was important.
That's true.
And because he also shot the Yellow-Eyed Demon. And that was also important. You could argue that John had in that, but I would never let John be MVP of the week. It has never and will never happen. Not on this podcast, not while I'm alive.
We'll have to kill you.
If you kill me, this podcast is dead.
That's true. Steal your recording equipment.
I challenge you to try and run this shit without me.
No, I'm too lazy to do that. There's like some rabid John stan out there who's just like, I know what to do now.
I'll fight them. There's not a lot of people I would genuinely fight. John Winchester apologists are the people. I would fight them.
I can stand on the sidelines and hold your glasses or something.
Okay, but we need to talk about this because I talked to Abigail and Beth about this. Just, we have a little group chat that we talk about stuff in. Dean sold his soul. However, what would have happened if Dean hadn't sold his soul and Sam was just dead in this episode? They could have shot Jake before he knew that they were there. They probably could have figured out that he would be there. Like, Sam told them he's probably going to be there because he knows about the Demon Hunger Gamesy stuff. But, like, I feel like they could have figured that out even without Sam.
Yeah, that's true.
And they definitely figured out where to go without Sam.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying they could have killed Jake.